Tariffs, 25% of what? That is the question. So here's how it works. So when manufacturers build a vehicle, they wholesale it to their franchise dealers and they set the number. We're going to use Volkswagen as an example because Volkswagen builds majority of their stuff in Germany. So let's say Volkswagen builds a particular car and they wholesale it to the dealer here in the US for $10,000, right? So they're generating $10,000. So to import that same vehicle now, they have to pay a 25% tariff, which is a fancy word for tax, to the US government on top of that. So now that vehicle is $12,500. Okay, so that's how that works. In that example, meaning everything's coming from Germany. Now, since I'm a Ford guy and I drive built Ford tough trucks, we're going to use the F-150 as an example. It's the #1 selling light duty vehicle in the US. So Ford has 2 assembly plants. They build the F-150, one here in Missouri, another one at the River Rouge plant in Dearborn, Michigan. So typically, on average, this is averages, 55 to 65% of an F-150 is all US produced, which meaning the tariffs doesn't apply to any of that. However, the other 35 to 45% is sourced from multiple countries, including China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea. Okay, so based on that same 25%, let's say Ford has an engine that's made in Mexico, right? And it costs, I don't know, we'll say $1,000 just for simple math. Ford pays an additional 25% on top of that $1,000 to import that into the country. So that's how the tariffs apply to the automotive world. Now, some manufacturers that are actually in really good position to absorb that, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, because they've invested heavily in building majority of their vehicles here in the US, sourcing parts in the US, and everything. Some manufacturers that are just screwed, all the European high-end luxury vehicles. Porsche, you're gonna pay through the nose to get a Porsche. If you want a Maserati, a Ferrari, Mercedes-Benz. BMW does have a facility in South Carolina. They do a lot of exporting actually from that, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So depending on where the parts come from, and depending on where they're assembled is gonna dictate tariffs, but it's 25% on the actual cost for that product, not what it's sold for. And I think that was very informative. So if a dealer has something on their lot now, it's exempt because it's already there. Okay, so if you go to a dealer and they got some tariff thing on there, they're trying to screw you. So just run, So hopefully that clears up how the tariffs will impact the automotive world, and God knows what's coming down the pipeline with this. So have a great day.